Who is Hudson River and what did you exclusively find out about them?
So you've probably heard about Hudson River's peers, Jane Street, Citadel, Securities. These are names that are in the headlines, and they're used to being public at this point, even though all these companies that we're talking about, these proprietary trading firms, they're private. But Hudson River Trading is one of the behemoths that really hasn't come forth in the same way that their peers have in recent years. But it's not because of the money that they're making or the actual trading that they're doing behind the scenes. They too, just like Jane Street and Citadel, are the middleman of trades across asset classes. In stocks, that's really where HRT got its foundation. Their founders were from Tower Research. And just like their peers, they have folks from MIT and Harvard and mathematicians, quants, that are building these algos to not only predict, but handle trades in real time. They started out as a high-frequency trading firm. As of today, and most of what this story goes into is how they have evolved. I would not say that they describe themselves as high-frequency trading any longer. They like to refer to themselves as market-making firms, and this is not unique to them. I think that a lot of the peers are trying to get away from the high-frequency Flash Boys era, but it's legit in the sense that their strategies have changed. You referenced the holding positions for longer. It is more hedge fund like. They are not hedge funds. They're not taking bets in order to profit in the way that companies that Kathy covers, but they are taking more risk. And the risk that they're putting up is with their own money. The capital that they use to trade is the money that they make and the balance sheet that they hold, and they have to evaluate what type of risk they're taking and for how long. Now, their algos and AI has allowed them to evolve so that they can, over time, shift. And it's not just they woke up overnight and said, we want to change our strategy and hold for longer. They did this gradually by using their technology to understand how they can project future price swings.
That is a real shift, though, from high frequency, right? Lots of fast moves. Like, help me understand how or what.
We'll caveat by saying that they still do a majority. They are moving in and out of positions very, very quickly at the speed of light. That's their main business. This slower type arbitrage trading is not, it's just under half. So it's been in addition to the foundation that they built. So it's not as if they've shifted one way away from and to another direction. It's the new direction is in addition to their foundation.
Let's talk numbers here because it is private. So we're not getting a lot of, numbers in regular intervals, but you were able to get access to some of the numbers. What do we see for 2024? What are we looking at for 2025? And why are the numbers leaking out?
Why do we care?
Well, no, I care. We care because it's billions and it's money.
That's why
That's
you're
why
here.
How do we keep these numbers straight? I'm glad that I have them up in front of me because sometimes I can't keep them straight. But essentially, a couple years ago, these firms, they started tapping the debt market. They're going to lenders in the same way that any other company that's looking to raise money. And when they do that, even though they are private companies, they have to report their numbers to credit investors. So these numbers they're still private. We are getting them through sourcing and through reporting of our own in building relationships. And so over time, we're tracking the progress. Hudson River, their most recent quarter was $3.7 billion in trading. That is below Jane Street. Jane Street, I don't have Jane Street's number up right in front of me, but I believe it was in like the 6 billion range. But their number, if we're going to compare just the market making firms, Hudson River, this is the second quarter. So both in the second and third quarter of this year that they surpassed Citadel Securities. Wow. Now, I want to note that Citadel Securities has a separate hedge fund business. Okay. So that hedge fund business revenue is not included in the market making numbers that we've been reporting. But overall, Hudson River's rise has been astronomical. I believe it was last quarter that their year-over-year growth was 85% or something in that range for their net revenue. Yeah, that's this is a big jump. This is not just like 15% year-over-year. These are huge numbers.
Kat, just got about 40 seconds. When you do a story like this, like what is it that strikes it kind of struck you about? It's not a household firm that we talk about, but I am always amazed by these kind of lesser known firms, and just they're becoming increasingly important kind of in the financial universe.
There were two things that struck me. One,
just
visiting their office.
Yeah.
The personalities and the culture is different at every firm. This firm is very mathematical, and their emphasis on AI is, I think, something that it's not just they're jumping on the bandwagon and jumping on the trend. This is something that they've been doing for over a decade. So that was number one. Number two is the rationale for coming forward and speaking to me. I have executives on the record talking. I think that they in many ways feel misunderstood, so they want to try to set the record straight.